session, let us discuss about the next topic of biomolecules, which is topic number 9.9, dynamic state of body constituents the concept of metabolism. So let's go with the next topic, 9.9. It is dynamic state of body constituents. Dynamic state of body constituents, it is the concept of metabolism. This is our next topic. Let's go. All living organisms, plant, animal, or microbes, or fungi, so they are made up of thousands of organic compounds. Now these organic compounds are called as metabolites. So these organic compounds, what they have are called metabolites. Now one interesting feature that we observed is all these organic compounds have turnover value. So all organic compounds have turnover value. Like if a company is there, the profit of that company is the turnover of the company. So like that. So it has a each biomolecule or each organic compound also has a turnover value. Now this organic compounds, so they'll be constantly being making up some other things, or they'll be constantly being breaking down. So now this process is called as metabolism. So what is metabolism? The sum total of chemical reactions. The sum total of chemical reactions occurring in a cell is called metabolism. The sum total of chemical reactions occurring in a cell is called as metabolism. It is called as metabolism. Now that's called as metabolism. Now we can tell, like in the living body, not even one reaction is there which is uncatalyzed. That means all metabolic reactions, in living system are catalyzed reactions. They are, all the metabolic reactions which are happening in the living system are catalyzed reactions, and that means they are catalyzed by some particles which are called as catalysts, and they are also organic substances. We call them as organic catalysts. Okay, all metabolic reactions in the living system are catalyzed by particles called, they're catalyzed by particles called catalysts. That, or we can call it as a biocatalyst, which is nothing than enzyme, which are proteinaceous particles. Enzymes act as biocatalysts. So enzymes fasten the rate of reaction. They fasten the rate of reaction, and almost all the reactions, they are depending on another reaction. Another reaction means isolated reactions doesn't exist in the living body. Isolated reactions or rare, we can tell. They are rare as they are interconnected. As they are interconnected to other reactions. Isolated reactions are rare and they are connected to the other reactions. For example, if you will see examples for some chemical reactions. Removal of carboxylic group. Removal of carboxylic group from an amino acid. If you remove carboxylic group, will result in formation of, it will result in formation of an amine. It is a reaction mediated by a catalyzed reaction. For example, if you take an amino acid and from there, if you are removing the carboxylic group, COO group, then you will get amine. So that means you are removing CO2. Removal of CO2 will be called as a decarboxylation reaction. It is called as decarboxylation reaction. So this is one reaction. Like this, we can take a reaction, so many reactions, and we can tell that. So we tell that all the reactions which are happening in the body are catalyzed reactions. Now, if you see a normal reaction outside, the carbon dioxide combines with water to form carbonic acid. Outside we do when we are making carbonated beverages like Coke, Pepsi and all those things, right? So Fanta, all those things. So there we add carbon dioxide to water and we convert it to carbonated beverage. For water, adding carbon dioxide outside is a physical process. But the same reaction, if we do inside the body, adding water and carbon dioxide to make a carbonic acid is mediated by an enzyme called carbonic anhydrase in the body. This is mediated by an enzyme called carbonic anhydrase. Mediated by an enzyme called carbonic anhydrase. So this is about the topic dynamic state of body constituents and the concept of metabolism. What is metabolism? Metabolism is the sum total of chemical reactions occurring inside the body. Now, metabolic reactions are of two types. Some reactions, they help in synthesizing. Biosynthetic reactions are there. They're called anabolic reactions. Some reactions are helping in breakdown. Then they are called as catabolic reactions. Let us see that. Now, they tell that these metabolic reactions which are happening inside the body, they have a particular rate and they crisscross each other. Some metabolic reactions are linear. Some metabolic reactions are circular. Thousands of metabolic reactions happen inside the cell, like the automobile traffic on the road. But then, without any single mishap, the reactions will be happening properly in a cell, like on road. Collisions will happen, accidents will happen. But in our body, in a healthy body, the reactions will not collide with each other. In a peaceful manner, the conversions will be happening up. Okay. So when we talk about the concept of metabolism, we told metabolism is sum total of all the reactions. So some reactions are catabolic reactions, some reactions are anabolic reactions. Now when we have to talk about metabolism, metabolism includes anabolism and catabolism. Catabolism and anabolism. Anabolism is also called biosynthetic pathway. And catabolism is breakdown pathway. If we have to see an example for anabolism, photosynthesis is an example of anabolism where carbon dioxide combines with water to make carbohydrate and releasing oxygen as a byproduct. So, 6 carbon dioxide molecules will join to make a single glucose molecule. So, this is simple, this is complex. Simple to complex. So, in anabolic reactions, the simpler substrates will combine to make a complex substrate. In catabolic reaction, it is a breakdown. We can take the example of glycolysis here where glucose is broken down. A 6 carbon compound called glucose is broken down to a 3 carbon sugar called pyruvic acid. So catabolic reaction, we'll take the example of glycolysis. In glycolysis, glucose, this is glucose, it's a 6 carbon compound, is broken down to 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, which is a 3 carbon compound. This is 6 carbon compound. When you break, you'll get 2 3 carbon compounds. This is glycolysis. Now this is a catabolic pathway. Now when you break anything, you're breaking the bonds, we get energy. Means catabolic pathways are exergonic. Exergonic reactions means energy yielding reactions. If you break anything, you get energy. But if you have to make anything, you need to make the bonds. For making the bonds, we need to spend energy. So that means anabolic pathways are energy consuming. Endergonic. Anabolic reactions are endergonic reactions. Means they consume energy. Whereas catabolic reactions, they release energy. Energy they yield. Okay. So then this is about catabolism and anabolism. Example for anabolism, I just took one example, making carbohydrate by the process called photosynthesis. I just took one more example for catabolism where glucose is broken down to pyruvic acid by 10-step reaction. It is a 10-step reaction. Now, some metabolic reactions are, they follow a pathway. They are linear. Like if you take glycolysis. Glycolysis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So glucose, it undergoes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps. to make pyruvic acid. So this is a linear pathway. Some metabolic reactions are linear, whereas some are circular pathways. Some are circular. If you take Krebs cycle, it comes in aerobic respiration chapter. If you go with Krebs cycle, in Krebs cycle, we'll start with acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA forms citric acid. Citric acid forms alpha-ketoglutric acid. Alpha-ketoglutric acid forms succinyl-CoA. Succinyl-CoA forms succinic acid. Succinic acid forms fumaric acid. Fumaric acid forms malic acid. Fumaric acid forms malic acid. Malic acid forms oxaloacetic acid. Now this is called as Krebs cycle. We'll see it in detail when the photosynthesis chapter comes in plant physiology, 4th unit, right? So I'm just quoting down an example for a circular pathway, Krebs cycle, and for a linear pathway, glycolysis. This is Krebs cycle and this is glycolysis. Now, in anabolism we tell like energy is used, energy is consumed. In catabolism we tell energy is released. Now, which form of energy it is? The energy is chemical energy. The energy is chemical energy. And what is the currency of the cell? What is the chemical of the cell? It is ATP. It is adenosine triphosphate. It's adenosine triphosphate. And in the previous lecture itself, we have seen the structure of ATP. It has high energy bonds. When you break it, you'll get energy. So whatever the energy which is released here, that energy is trapped in the form of chemical bonds. And whenever the cell needs it, it breaks the ATP. It hydrolyzes the ATP to use the energy. So this is about our topic, which is 9.9, dynamic state of body constituents and concept of metabolism. This is 9.10, concept of metabolism. Then the next one is 9.11. 9.11 is the living state. Now, how can you tell what is the difference between a living state and a non-living state means? So, living state has certain characteristics. Living state will do these things to be in a living condition. So, let's go to our next topic. It is 9.11, the living state. According to physics, we tell that like anything which reaches towards equilibrium, then the system will not perform work. When it reaches equilibrium, then the system will not do work. So that means in our body, when if we have to be in living state means, that means what should happen? The reactions should constantly happen, means we should not reach equilibrium. So we tell that. So living state means it is equilibrium or non-equilibrium. If it is equilibrium, it will stop doing work. If organs doesn't function, person is not living. Means living state means it is not non-equilibrium state. Living state means it is non-equilibrium state. Why are we telling it as a non-equilibrium state? Because we are telling if any system reaches towards equilibrium, then it stops working. When it stops working, person will not be alive. So that's why in order to be alive, so we'll try to maintain non-equilibrium state, but we are steady all the time. So we tell the living state means it is non-equilibrium steady state. It's non-equilibrium steady state. So in order to be in non-equilibrium, so what they will do, they'll be making some compounds. If they have to make some compounds, they need energy. That means first they do catabolism. Cellular constituents, they do catabolism. When they do catabolism, they get energy. Now it uses this energy to do anabolism. It uses this energy to do anabolism. Now this anabolism, if anabolism is done, you're getting some compounds. Now again, it should not reach equilibrium. Again it will break the compounds. Again it will break the compounds. When it breaks the compounds, again it gets energy. When again it gets energy, it uses that energy for again anabolism. So actually if you say, it's not making any sense because it is breaking, making. But why it is doing? To be alive, to be in living state. So that's why we tell the living state means it is non-equilibrium steady state. It's a non-equilibrium steady state to be alive, to prevent falling from the equilibrium. Okay, hence living state is a non-equilibrium steady state able to perform work. The living state is a non-equilibrium steady state which is able to perform work. So this is a very important concept. So in today's class, we discussed about topic number 9.9, 9.10 and 9.11. In 9.10 we discussed dynamic state of body constants. In 9.10 we discussed concept of metabolism. In 9.11 we discussed the living state. So in the next session we'll be talking about the last topic of this chapter, biomolecules, which is related to enzymes, and very important topic it is. And if you like my videos, you can like, share and subscribe. Thank you.